Good morning. Good morning. Today is Tuesday, July 16th, and it is day number 75 of Riley and my through hike attempt of the Appalachian Trail. This was our campsite last night. We walked into the side trail that leads to Crampton Gap Shelter, and this was the first campsite that we saw. I prefer tenting, so I didn't want to walk all the way into the shelter. And this is a very nice campsite. They even have a tent pad here, so it's nice and flat. But the trouble with this particular area is that the ground is pretty hard. So I was able to get stakes in the ground in a few areas, but in other areas I had to rely on these large rocks. So fortunately I had plenty of large rocks to choose from, so I was able to secure some of the guy lines with the weight of the rocks instead of staking the stakes into the ground. And we are ready to get started. It was a very hot night last night. I mean, not hot like it is during the day, of course, but it was hot enough where I took all my clothes off and I didn't feel cold at all. And I just went to bed, not even in my sleeping bag or my liner. Eventually, in the middle of the night, my body temperature dropped enough where I felt like it would be comfortable to get in my sleeping bag. But that was just barely. It was just a warm night last night. I feel like Riley was sleeping hot and struggling to get comfortable. And I don't feel like I'm in a good mood this morning. But one of the nice things about the trail is that you can be in a bad mood and you can just start hiking. And eventually your bad mood will turn into a good mood. So that will probably happen later today. I'm sure it'll happen. Quite confident. I'm just strapping on my pack here. And picking up my trekking poles so they're ready to go. So why am I in a bad mood right now? It's kind of, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of, it's not hard to explain, but I feel hesitant to try to explain it. I feel like part of it is just that I didn't want to take a zero while getting to Harper's Ferry. I was always planning to get there and then hike out the next day. And I feel like Riley and I worked so hard to make it to Harper's Ferry on Saturday. Riley, this way. We're going left. This way, Riley. Come on. And I mean, I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's fine to take a zero. It's fine. We both were able to make good use of the extra rest. But I just didn't really like feeling like I was forced to take a zero. And I feel like it's just making it harder on Riley and I to to reach our goal of completing the trail, because now we have fewer days to do it, and we have to hike more miles in fewer days. So that's what's frustrating me. I'm sure there's flaws in my thinking, flaws in my logic. Obviously, I know we need rest, and we can't just push ourselves continuously. But that's never been my intention, to just push ourselves continuously. I know we need rest. But I'm just describing what's frustrating me, and I'm feeling frustrated by the fact that I just feel more pressure now. If we want to be able to finish the hike, in the limited time that we have available. One of the reasons that we worked so hard to get to Harper's Ferry by Saturday was to make it easier on us for the rest of the hike. And then I feel like we just squandered an opportunity to continue to make it easier on us by not making any progress. Not yesterday, but the day before yesterday. So that's just what's frustrating me. But like I said, we're getting started with the hike today. We're continuing to make progress. Riley's hiking fine. Things will get better. I will forget about what's frustrating me. New challenges will come up to occupy my mind. I will meet people on the trail, either new people or people that I've met before, and we will laugh and commiserate about our shared experiences and our challenges that we're going through. Yep. All right. So that's it. Now we're at the beginning of the side trail to Crampton Gap Shelter, and we're back on the Appalachian Trail heading northbound. A big takeaway from Riley and my stopover with my parents in Harper's Ferry is that Riley is looking skinny and not getting enough food. So I need to do a better job of trying to get him enough food. Alright, so Riley just pooped, which he does pretty much every morning, like almost immediately. He doesn't, I often leave him outside of the tent when I'm getting ready, because it's just easier, and it's also cooler outside. So I think he's more comfortable. But he doesn't like to poop when he's not moving. He likes to use the bathroom once he's started the hike. Alright, so where is my trowel? Okay, my trowel is, I always keep my trowel in my left pocket. I don't usually show Riley's poop or my process in burying the poop, but why not show it? Why not show it? I feel like I'm doing a... I feel like it's difficult to explain to non-hikers or people, people that aren't actually hiking the trail themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying I feel like it's difficult in the videos that I'm doing to convey what it's actually like out here, assuming people want to know. And this is part of the process. So I just dug a hole in the ground and then used my trowel to scoop up the poop. I could have dug a bigger hole. I could have tried to. That probably would have been better if I tried to dig a bigger hole. But I got a balance. I mean, yeah, I think the ATC recommends like a 6 to 8 inch hole, which is pretty deep. And on lots of surfaces, it's just difficult with the, how tough the ground is to dig a hole that deep. So oftentimes I'll just dig as deep as I'm able to without, killing myself or feeling like I'm trying to do something that's impossible. And then I'll scoop up the poop with my trowel, move it into the hole, and then I'll just pick up, dirt and leaves from around it, and I'll clean off my trowel like this, and then I'll just, pick up extra dirt and throw it on top. And that's generally my process. But yeah, like I was saying, I feel like it's difficult to convey what it's actually like to be on a hike. Even though I show, I talk about stuff that we're doing, and I show stuff that we're doing, nothing compares to actually being out here and experiencing it and feeling the feelings that flow through your body when you're on a hike like this and you're dealing with everything that you have to deal with. I feel like some people might think it's more like a vacation out here. Or maybe they don't maybe they don't directly think that, but maybe they think that just in their subconscious. And I don't think of it as a vacation. I mean, there's definitely, definitely parallels with a vacation. One parallel is that a vacation is something that you do because you want to do it. And going on the hike that we're doing this because we chose to. We're not doing it because anybody forced us to. So that's definitely a parallel with a vacation. But I think there's so many contrasts as well. I definitely don't think of this as a vacation. I feel like a vacation is something that you do with the specific intention to have fun, I guess. I've never really been much of a vacation person, so I'm probably not the best person to talk about this. Yeah, I've just never really liked going on vacations. When I was working, when I held down regular jobs, I often didn't take much vacation, and when I did take vacation, I often didn't go anywhere. I just kind of spent time at home and did things that I did that I enjoyed at home. I've never been on a cruise. I've never gone on a car trip to, just to visit a particular place that's a vacation-y spot. So I'm really not much of a person to talk about vacations. My forms of vacations have primarily consisted of going to chess tournaments, honestly. Not that I'm not being honest when I say honestly, but I I enjoy playing chess as a hobby, or I used to enjoy playing chess, playing in chess tournaments. Haven't been very active in the past several years, but something I looked forward to when I was taking time off of work previously was always planning some time off around a chess tournament, and then heading down there wherever it was scheduled, and maybe getting a hotel room and sharing it with a friend, or finding some other relatively low cost way of staying in the area. And I didn't really view that as a vacation either. I viewed that as just pursuing my other interests besides work. It's almost like a second career that I was pursuing. And when I'm going to a chess tournament, I'm doing it because I enjoy the experience, but it's a form of battle. Like, I'm being attacked by my opponents, and I need to remain vigilant. I need to put work in before the chess tournament to prepare. I need to put work in during the chess tournament to prepare. I need to put work in during the games to try to play at my highest level. So it's not a time to relax at all. It's a time to continue to work, but in a different way than I would work at my regular job. And so this is kind of similar, this hiking experience, in that it's something that I do because ultimately I do get satisfaction from it. But it's not something that I do where I feel like I can just relax. I mean, it's work for the most part. The times when I can truly relax is when we get to camp each night and we settle down to go to sleep. But apart from that, I mean, there might be pockets of times where I can relax, but we're still in the wilderness, and it's always necessary to remain alert and to whatever threats might exist. So I started this conversation by just acknowledging that it seems hard to convey what it's actually like to be out here on a hike, because whatever I'm talking about doesn't substitute for actually coming out and experiencing it with your own body. And I feel like that's partly a fault in myself for not being skilled enough to properly convey what it's like to be out here. But it's also just part of the nature of doing YouTube. Like, you can only watch YouTube with your eyes, and you can listen to it with your ears, but you can't actually feel what the hiker's feeling. You just have to go with what they're saying. And it's easy to just listen to what somebody says and be like, yeah, okay. You can just nod your head or say like, yeah, that's cool. But until you experience something for yourself, it's not easy for it to become part of your own reality. So I'd say we're off to a good start this morning. Riley's hiking fine. He's not protesting at all. I brought a couple bags of his freeze-dried food, which I started off with at the start of the hike. But when I ran out of that, I switched to just buying regular dry food in the grocery stores and mailing it to me. But since I was at home the past couple days, I was able to access the freeze-dried food that I had previously purchased. So now I have 6+ pounds, like two 3-pound bags that are unopened, and just another third bag that I had mostly used, but there was still some left. So I fed that to him for his dinner last night. It's basically like a powder with freeze-dried vegetables and meats, and you add water to it, and then what I do is I stir it up with my spoon for 5 to 10 minutes and let the freeze-dried stuff really soak up the water. And Riley's very patient while I do that. And I also added some dry food in with the freeze-dried mixture. And I think Riley enjoyed it. I mean, he always enjoys his food. The challenge is just to get him enough food. But at the same time, like I mean, he's hiking like all day, every day. It's kind of expected that he's gonna have trouble maintaining the same weight that he previously had. We weighed him, and he was 57 pounds on the scale, and I think his high weight has been 66 pounds. But I think when he was 66 pounds, I think the vet actually was concerned that he was gaining too much weight. So I'm not sure that the 66 pounds is the most relevant weight to compare to. Because I feel like he may have been a little overweight at that point. So I feel like the most relevant weight to compare to is whatever his most healthy weight is, and I don't know exactly what that is. I would estimate it's maybe in the low 60s. And he definitely, when I first got to Harper's Ferry, I definitely felt like Riley was looking thin. But we gave Riley basically like as much food as he wanted to. We just kept, my parents helped to keep filling up the bowl, and we just let him eat as much as he wanted over the course of the day and a half or so that he was at home. And he ate a whole bunch. And then eventually he got full, and he just left the food that we had put in the bowl uneaten. But then he got hungry again, and he finished it, and we refilled the bowl, and he was just able to eat as much as he wanted. And I feel like, just from looking at him, we only weighed him once, but just from looking at him now, I feel like he has gained weight since he initially got to Harper's Ferry. And I don't think he's looking, just to my eyes, I know I'm susceptible to bias because I want to feel like I'm doing a good job in caring for him. But to my eyes, he doesn't look as skinny as he did when we first got to Harper's Ferry. So I feel like the extra food that we were able to give him was definitely helpful. And I'm gonna try to, I've been trying to do a good job to feed him, but I'm gonna try to improve so that he doesn't get as skinny as he was when we first got to Harper's Ferry. But at the same time, I don't want to be too hard on myself. I want to give myself credit for the things I am doing to take care of him. Like I'm not like, I don't want to feel like I'm a bad person. Even though, you know, I'm sure some people might have that opinion, since I'm letting my dog lose some weight. But yeah, I don't want to feel like I'm a bad person. I feel like I'm doing the best with what I have available and trying to make improvements and make adjustments where, you know, when it seems appropriate. And at the same time, I feel like the adventure that Riley is on is, in general, a positive one. There you go, Riley. So there's definitely a balance between giving Riley this adventure and making sure his nutrition is as good as it can be. Obviously, on one extreme, we could take Riley off trail and we would have much better control to ensure that his nutrition is exactly where it should be. And so that would be great for his nutrition. But in terms of being able to experience being outside and enjoying the things that he enjoys, with being able to walk whenever he wants to, that would be compromised. Anyway, so here's another hiker. I'm going to turn this off. So Riley is, I just turned the camera back on. Riley is like, "Where are you going?" It was a day hiker that just passed by very quickly, and we just said hello briefly. Didn't have an extended conversation. But Riley's like, "Wait, I wanted to talk to you." Anyway, so as I was saying, and then on the other extreme, I mean, I guess the other actual extreme would be sacrificing Riley's nutrition and just focusing on the hike, which I would never think to do. We need to maintain both his nutrition at a high level and ideally give him the opportunity to enjoy the hike along with me. And maintaining his nutrition is just a challenge. Like, it's not like that's one of the challenges, along with so many other challenges that we have to deal with when we're on the hike, just because we don't have easy access to a grocery store. We have to carry everything that we want to have access to. We carry it with us. I carry it in my backpack. And I carry a lot in my backpack, and my pack has been very, very, very heavy at times. So I feel like I'm doing like just about as much as I can, but still the results are not they're certainly not perfect. They're certainly not perfect. So but I feel like they're not in dire straits either. I feel like Riley's still doing fine, and I just need to figure out a better. I mean, I just need to continue to figure out good ways to feed him, and planning, resupply options, and making sure I'm using the food that's available, as opposed to, like, I need to balance giving him food with not risking that I'm going to run out of food. But perhaps I'm overly concerned about running out of food, and I should be a little less concerned about that, because there have been times when we've gotten to a town and I've had food left over that I could have fed him on the way. Hello, Riley. How are you, sir? That hiker is not coming back. He is not coming back. He might be coming back, actually. I don't know, but I don't think he's coming back any time soon. I do feel like we should have started this hike earlier, or it would have been. I mean, there were reasons why I didn't start until May 2nd, but in retrospect, it definitely would have been, I think, helpful to have tried to have gotten an earlier start to the hike, and that would have allowed us to get further north before the high summer heat kicked in, and it would have also just given us more flexibility in finishing the hike, by not having to do as many. It would have just given us more days to complete the hike, which would have made it easier on Riley and I. But I can't change history. We're here where we are right now, and we're just trying to make the best of the situation. All right, so I'm going to try to continue on, and let's see if Riley will follow me or if he'll protest. Okay, he's not protesting. And he's getting ahead of me, so very good. Oh, but he's gonna roll around. You're gonna roll around. Achoo! Achoo, achoo. All right, good shake, Riley. All right, so I've rambled on long enough this morning, just sharing what's on my mind. There we go. So we're gonna do some hiking without the camera on now, and we'll check back in later. So I hope everyone is doing well, and yeah, bye for now. Just checking in again here. I've been seeing more turtles recently on the trail, and there's a turtle. We just walked over a turtle right there. He's got his head out. But I actually didn't even see him when we first walked over, but now he sees him and the turtle just ducked his head in. He's like, Riley, get away from me. Riley's not going to be able to hurt the turtle. The turtle is perfectly safe inside his shell there. All right, buddy, let's go. Yeah, so the turtle is crossing the Appalachian Trail. Or just camping in the middle of the Appalachian Trail. So it hasn't been long, Riley. Hold up, nope, not yet, Riley, not yet. Hasn't been long since I turned the camera off last. Riley, no, wait, I know. Wait, almost. No, wait. Riley. Hasn't been long since I turned the camera off last, and I decided it'd be a good time to take a little break. Riley, no, not yet, Riley, not yet, I know. So this is Riley's freeze-dried food, and I've added water to it, and I'm just giving it some time to hydrate. That's why I want Riley to wait for a bit. And yes, I'm using my spoon. This is my spoon that I used to eat. I'm also using the same spoon to stir it up. I don't care that I'm commingling his food with my food. It's the least of my concerns. And when this is, when I'm done, I'm just gonna lick this spoon. I don't care. I know it's dog food, but there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's perfectly fine for me to look at it. I mean, I could, if I were desperate, I would actually eat the food as well. If this was all that was available. But I have plenty of food for myself. And just to avoid, to clean the spoon and to avoid wasting anything, I'll just give it a good lick in my mouth to clean it off. The other thing I did when I sat down here, I like sitting on the ground. I just feel more stable, as opposed to trying to find a rock to sit on. I like the flat ground. And but the thing about sitting on, just being out here, is there's so many ants. And they just love to like crawl up, especially when you're sitting or resting somewhere. They love to crawl up your legs and crawl up your arms. So one thing I do is these pants, they have a little drawstring at the ankle area. And so I find it helpful to cinch up the drawstring on both sides. And I find that really helps to prevent ants and also ticks from getting inside my pants and being able to crawl up my legs. When I forget to do this, I'll often feel something crawling up my leg, and I'll have to pull up my pants and try to remove it. But then once I start hiking again, it is helpful to uncinch the drawstring so I have more airflow inside my pants area. Riley, you're being so patient, so patient. So this is getting nice and hydrated here. It's getting a little thicker. Riley's clearly interested. Good boy, Riley. Good boy. Good boy, Riley. All right. I will, I'm gonna give this some more time to hydrate. I know, Riley, I know. And I'll put the camera back on once Riley's ready to eat. All right, I think we're almost ready here. I'm pulling out from my lower left pocket my piece of Tyvek, which is, if you're not familiar with what Tyvek is, it's used for it's just a strong, very strong piece of paper that's water resistant and resistant to tearing. And I just have this small piece here. Riley, back up. I know, you're so close. This is Riley's placemat. So I'm just gonna lay this out here. This is Riley's food. I got his dry food mixed in with his freeze-dried food. And then Riley will inevitably spill or splatter some of his food outside of the bowl. So that's why it's helpful to put it on the placemat. So when it splatters, he can just lick it off the placemat and it doesn't collect a bunch of excess dirt from just falling on the ground. Granted, the placemat is not, it's not immaculately clean, but it's still a lot better than the food just falling directly on the ground. All right, so I'm gonna lick the spoon here. Just to clean it off. Now it's nice and clean. And I'm gonna interrupt and just give Riley some more water here. Good bit more water, that's fine. Here you go, Riley. All right, so this is Riley's first snack of the day, and we'll check in later. All right, Riley and I are checking in again. It's been another day. It's been ridiculously hot today. We're in the evening time now, so it's not quite as hot. But we've taken so many breaks just because it's been so ridiculously hot. Ridiculously with a capital R, a capital I, a capital D, everything capitalized, italicized, bolded, absolutely ridiculously hot. Anyway, so we made it to this place called the Dahlgren Backpackers Campground, and we just left it actually. And when we made it there, we had hiked 6.8 miles on the day. But I think when we got there, it was like close to 6 p.m. already. So super slow day for us so far. But at the Dahlgren Backpackers Campground, super nice area. It would be a wonderful place to stay for the night, but it just feels too early to stop, especially given our very low mileage so far today, and the fact that the best opportunity for us to hike is in the evening time when it's relatively cooler. But at the Backpackers Campground, I remember this from my hike in 2018, they have just a whole lot of grass for setting up tents, and they have lots of picnic tables, and they have a big restroom area, separate men's and women's bathrooms, and they have a sink behind the bathroom area that you can use to fill up on water. And in the bathroom area, of course, they have toilets which you can use, and I was able to take advantage of that. But they also have showers. They have 2 showers in each bathroom with both cold and hot water. And I'm not a cold shower person. I don't like taking cold showers. But they have hot water. So I was able to take a shower. I was contemplating hiking on, since I was able to take a shower just a couple days ago. But I'm glad I decided to take a shower. And Riley's using the bathroom here. Good for you, Riley. Yeah, so I feel a little refreshed. All right, I'm gonna clean this up here. I already showed myself cleaning it up this morning, so I won't show it again right now. It says Mount Vernon. This is not the place that most people think of as Mount Vernon, but it says Mount Vernon here. And we're actually in another section of Maryland now, and we're hiking up this, there's actually a parking area back there. and we're hiking up this wide trail that leads up to the Washington Monument, believe it or not. There are actually two Washington monuments. The one in Washington, D.C. is certainly the most famous, but apparently the Washington Monument that's in this park is the original Washington Monument. It was built, I read on my Far Out app that it was built 60 years before the Washington Monument that's in Washington, D.C. that most people think of as the Washington Monument. So, when we get up closer, I'll take another shot. If there's a side trail, I'm not going. I've already seen it. I think there's a side trail, and I don't intend to do the extra walking. We're fighting for every single mile, footstep in this heat. So whatever extra walking we can avoid, that's what we do. Good boy, Riley. Good boy. This trail leading up to the Washington Monument has cool little signs with milestones in the life of George Washington. The first one was back there, and it just said that he was born in 1732, 1749, surveyor of Culpeper County, Virginia, 1753 to 58, officer in French and Indian War. (1759) marries Martha Custis, 1758 to 74, member Virginia House of Burgesses. (1774) Virginia delegate to the First Continental Congress. 1775 appointed commander-in-chief. I feel like I'm back in elementary school history class. Come on, Riley. Come on, Riley. (1776) loses New York to British declaration signed. 1777 British occupy Philadelphia, winter at Valley Forge. (1781) British surrender at Yorktown. Or does that mean British surrender Appalachian Trail at Yorktown? Just joking. 1783, British recognize American independence. I'm just reading, I realize I'm reading these milestones without really taking the time to understand them. I'm just reading them very quickly. I know they're significant milestones, and I'm not giving their due justice for what they actually represent, because I have other things to worry about right now. Like Riley's survival and my survival are the things that I'm most worried about. 1789, federal constitution ratified. Washington becomes president in 1789. Okay. Come here, Riley. All right, so the monument's up there. You can actually kind of see it. Yeah, so it's a structure that was built to celebrate the life of George Washington. It's just not as tall as the one that was built in Washington, D.C. But yeah, this is a very nice one. It's And AT continues north. So we're going to continue on the AT. Maryland is like 40 miles of the AT, and I think it's one of my favorite states on the AT. The terrain is not too difficult, and the trail takes you through multiple state parks. We went through, I'm not sure if it's pronounced Gatlin State Park or Gathland State Park, but either way, I'll say Gathland State Park. That was the first one. I mean, of course, you get to Harper's Ferry first. And then when we crossed over that bridge and got onto the C&O Canal towpath, we entered into Maryland. By the way, I didn't mention that we're currently in Maryland, so this is our 6th state on the AT. Virginia was our 4th state, West Virginia, only 4 miles. Anyway, West Virginia was our 5th state. Maryland is our 6th state. Yeah, and we got to Gathland State Park. And I mean, it's nice going through these state parks and just like, they're all very well maintained. And it's nice to be able to see, just to, see picnic tables and places to rest. And it's also super nice to have easy access to the water spigots that are in the parks. And of course, the shower that was back at the Dahlgren Backpackers Campground. And then this park had water spigot as well, but it was literally just a couple miles after the Dahlgren Backpackers Campground, so I didn't need to fill up here. I don't think there's any more state parks in Maryland, but there is something called, just before we cross into Pennsylvania, there's this park called Penmar County Park, which is another park area that has restrooms and good water access. So those are some reasons why I like Maryland. Just helps make it easy to get access to water, convenient access to water, and that's very much appreciated, especially on these hot days. Good boy, Riley. Let me give a quick update on the past few days. So Friday, I think, was the last day. I did a video yesterday. Today is day 75. Yesterday was day 74. Yesterday was Monday. Prior to yesterday, the last video that I did was from Friday of last week, and that was day 71, I believe. Friday, July 12th. And that day, I don't think I did a closeout video because my last GoPro battery died on me. But we hiked 21.1 miles that day into the night, and the last few miles were pretty difficult because of the darkness. And I did have some trouble finding a campsite that night, but we eventually just found some flat ground next to the trail that I was able to set up on. And then we had like 16 miles to go to get to the side trail that leads into the Harper's Ferry, or the Appalachian Trail Conservancy in Harper's Ferry. And so we were able to hike that on Saturday, July 13th, and that was day 72. But I wasn't able to take any video, so I did not have a video for day 72 because I had exhausted my GoPro batteries and I didn't have a convenient place to charge them and still get to Harper's Ferry on Saturday. So it is what it is. No video for Saturday, day 72. And then, as I said before, I was able to meet up with my parents, and Riley and I went back home for the night on Saturday. And then we were planning to get back on, I was intending to get back on trail on Sunday, but there were just a lot of things to do, and it's partly my fault because I didn't get all my stuff together in time to make it possible to get back on trail on Sunday. So we ended up taking a 0, and I readily admit the rest was definitely nice to get for both myself and definitely for Riley. So Sunday was that was July 14th, and so it was day 73. Even though we were not on trail, it's still day 73. And I did not do a video for Sunday. So that was 2 days in a row, days 72 and 73, that I did not do a video. And then yesterday, day 74, which was July 15th, did do a video yesterday, and now I'm back to doing videos. Yeah, so just wanted to explain the break for a couple days in the videos, because I don't think I had explained that before. It was due to my GoPro batteries running out of power, and then also just taking a 0. I wasn't hiking, so didn't feel like doing a video if I wasn't doing any hiking on that day. Okay, so we're up to date. And Riley just got up. Perfect timing. Okay, so we're gonna keep hiking here, and we'll check in later. Bye for now. All right, so Riley and I are crossing a footbridge over a major highway here. This is me, Van Gogh, Mr. Riley, and I think this is Interstate 70. I think so. I know I've seen this. I know I've driven on this road before with my parents, and we've seen this this walkway. Look at all the locks that are attached to the bridge here, and on the hanging from the bridge, it says Appalachian Trail. So when we've driven past it and I've seen the Appalachian Trail sign, I always think it's cool, and now it's cool that we're walking across it. And then I remembered, like that this is the bridge that I've seen from the highway previously. So that's pretty cool. All right, so this leads to a parking area to access the trail, and we continue north here. Washington Monument, 3 miles south. Annapolis Rocks, 2.2 miles. Okay. Riley and I are making so much more progress in the evening. So much more progress ever since we left the Dahlgren Backpackers Campground. It's been significantly cooler, and Riley has been able to hike much stronger, and so I'm very pleased. So definitely making use of the evening time to get our miles in. Good evening. Riley and I are in our tent now, and I just wanted to close out our day. It's just before midnight here. I was looking at my phone earlier. We've been in our tent for a while. We got here probably about 10 p.m. And so we made it to this place called Annapolis Rocks, which is like a popular day hiker destination with a good view. Apparently we didn't see the view because it's dark out. It's actually a quarter-mile side trail off of the AT. But we came here because there is there's supposed, well, I learned, and there is a nice campground with 13 tent sites that's made by the Potomac Appalachian Trail Club. And the tent sites are all spread out, so I was able to get a tent site for Riley and I, and it's perfectly free. Just costs the quarter-mile hike off the trail. So, where are we? We are, like I said, we're at this place called Annapolis Rocks, and it's mile 1051.3, according to Far Out. So we were able to hike 14.2 miles in total today. And like I said before, we hiked earlier to the Dahlgren Backpackers Campground, and at that point we'd hiked like 6.9 miles. So that means we hiked 7.3 miles after that. Yeah, the first part of the day was just awful. It was just so ridiculously hot. I keep using that word, ridiculously hot. But it got better in the evening. We were able to hike much better. So I really should try to get off to an early start tomorrow and get some hiking in before it gets hot. I did hear from another hiker named Finger, who I was talking with earlier today, that it is supposed to cool down a little bit in the next several days, like maybe by about 10 degrees. So we'll see if that's the case, but hopefully that's the case. Definitely encouraging. And yeah, that's it. We're gonna get some sleep, and we'll check in again tomorrow. So hope everyone's doing well. Riley's doing fine. And yeah, we'll check in tomorrow. Bye for now.